Good morning, and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono now. This morning, we are going to be discussing something very, very important, an aspect of agriculture, but also emphasizing on research. Now, if you remember, we've just had the CADAP Summit in Uganda, the extraordinary CADAP Summit, and that was a Speak Resort and Conventional Center in Munyonyo, where heads of states from the African countries or the Africa Union member states convened. Now, when we look at one of the things that for all the three sittings of CADAP that we have had, they have called for investment in agriculture, but more specific in research. Now, research has taken a number of strides, because when you do research, you must come up with a report and whatever, and how to compact, how to carry out this research, present it to people is very necessary. Now, we may talk of scientists, but also how do the scientists bring this information to be understood, but also for anyone who can read. Now, today we want to look at modern research methods. It may not be scientific research, it may be for your organization, but we want to focus on conducting research in a modern way. And joining me on set, I have Ogwal Martin, who happens to be coming from Mood Technologies. Now, these are people who have specialized in carrying out or conducting research with an experience of about 16 years in this field. So we decide and see, how do you attract Ugandans to research? How do we look into modern methods of conducting research? You're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robert. Greetings to everybody. You talked about the summit and so on. Uganda is a beautiful place. I was in Western Uganda a few weeks ago, and one of the people was telling me, you see, we are called Pearl of Africa because of Fort Portal. I said, you haven't been to the north. We have a beautiful place in the northern Uganda. We have beautiful places like Eastern Uganda. All over the country, we have really a great place. So we need to promote our research, we need to promote agriculture, we need to promote a lot of technologies. So
now, well, to start with, for my viewer, just to know you better, and of course understand the person I have and their ability to analyze the topic. Mood technology, to someone who has never heard about this, what do you do? And when I hear technology, then mood, then research, please just a glimpse to my viewer to understand my guest.
Now, about 2 million years ago, that's when we started venturing into eating meat as humans. We had no tools of how to actually kill the animals. And so far it is seen that the oldest spear is about 500 years old. So that means for 1.5 million years we have been researching into tools to just help us in killing an animal, slaughtering, and all that. Now we don't have 1.5 million years to do things. We need to move fast. So as Mood Technologies, we have now come in to use the available technologies and looking into the future technologies to enhance research. Starting from data collection part of it, going into the analysis and reporting bit. Then we also do monitoring and evaluation. So monitoring projects and so on, so that we can help develop our nation a lot faster. We do not have the luxury of time like our ancestors had to spend all those years. You remember COVID came a few years ago, and normally in the medical field it takes about 15 years, 10 to 15 years to release a vaccine. I think we did it in less than 1 year, because we have grown in numbers. We have a lot of things to take care of. Just Uganda alone, in 1911, we're only 2.5 million people, according to available statistics. Can you imagine Kampala is having close to 5 million? 4 million?
During the, yes.
During daytime. And that's more than a modern population of Uganda. So the planning of that time needed a different approach, but now we're in a time where we took a census last year and we are close to 46 million Ugandans. So now we need a new approach. We need to see how best we can harness our communities, how best we can improve on our environment, improve on our agriculture, improve on the health, and so many sectors. So that's where Mood Technologies come in. We are handling tools that can enhance faster research, quick results, and accuracy. We have to build in accuracy, because also it's not important to just get results which are not accurate. So that's the kind of role we have to play.
Now, this takes me to something that you talk about, which is doing research the digital way compared to analog. First, when you talk about doing research the digital way, what is this? And when you talk about the analog that we say mean by using, what is doing research the analog way?
Yeah, the current analog, I could call it semi-analog, because somebody carries papers. Our ancestors didn't have papers to do research. They actually had to tell stories, because you sit with your children and tell them how a lion would attack someone. You don't have to write a paper about it. Then, of course, we have stones we had to write on. It would take a lot of time. Those were kind of old methods. Then we went into the printing, the ink kind of generation, where we had to write. But now we have moved from the ink generation, where we are having papers, to digital way, where we can do research using a simple device like a smartphone. We can do research with things like tablets, and we analyze our results. We do everything digital, except if you're printing reports, then you could print, but also at the same time we do presentations in a digital way. We do not have to go back to the way our old grandfathers were doing things, and grandmothers. Yeah, so that's the way of going nowadays. And we have got a lot of capabilities in the devices we have. My phone here has a capability that could, you remember 1969, the first man landed on the moon. And I have a device I used when I was in the university. This is a floppy disk. It takes 1.4 MB of data. For NASA to take people to the moon, this was a very super intelligent, a very high capacity device. It was like 78 KB. A picture of today it could crash the computer which takes one picture like this. Could crash a computer which took man to the moon in 1969. And that means we are having a lot of capabilities we are holding in our hands, which we can enhance to help us in fastening the way we conduct research. So the beauty of it is that we have the devices. We just have to explore how best we can utilize it to help us move our research a lot faster. So going the old way, the analog way, no, I think we should put it aside. For the people who are still doing it, please, we'll be available to help guide you out so that we look at the differences. First of all, if you look at the cost bit, averagely, if you, according to our experience, one question you ask to someone takes them about, it takes an interaction of about 45 seconds, generally. So you have a few seconds to ask the question, you have a few seconds to clarify, and the person thinks about the answer and respond. So if one question takes approximately 45 seconds to get your response, that means in 30 minutes you can only administer 40 questions. And in an hour you would be able to administer about 80 questions.
Yes.
Now, with modern technologies, we program this into the smarter devices, the phones, the tablets, and so on. And it can help you in the skip patterns. So the questions which are not relevant are normally skipped. You cannot be asking a man about when he was last pregnant. It doesn't make sense. You cannot be asking a child questions for an adult. So such kind of things, the technologies help us, the software can help us to build skip patterns that would reduce that time. And more so, you have to, if you're doing a human-to-human interaction, as an interview, you're looking at putting someone on the ground. So if every day you have to put someone on the ground to do for your research, assuming one person, to a minimum scale, you would pay maybe like 50,000 Uganda shillings. That's about $15. So if you have 10 people, you're looking at spending $150 at minimum to have people on the ground. You wouldn't want them to spend so many days in the field. Also at the same time, collecting for your data which is not really could. If you go the analog way, that means a set of people you're taking to the field will have to collect data on paper. Then from that point, you have to bring it back to either your office or your data center for people to enter, to type, because you still want to go semi semi-analog, semi-digital. So you need a different set of people. So instead of spending your $150, that's around what I have, for 10 people. So you would be spending a lot more. You need another set of people who will be entering this. Then you need, there is what we used to call double data entry, to just cross-check the next person who has entered data. So you need, again, a different set of people to double enter. Can you see you've multiplied the cost by 3? Simply, we have, without thinking of the different costs involved in this data collection process. So there's a lot of advantage you gain by going modern way, going digital. You're saving on cost, you're building in accuracy. A number of times I have an issue with reading people's writing. Number 4 and number 9 are sort of, it's a struggle. So 4 looks like a 9, 9 looks like a 4. So
yes.
Handwritings
differ.
Handwritings are really, so you assume that the people you have sent did the handwriting, because you might have 4,000 becoming 9,000, and that's a big difference in data.
Yeah.
And the people typing could be able to read, and the people double typing, and you have a set of team to analyze. So there's a lot of costs that you incur going the old way compared to what you would incur using the modern way, because the person who is collecting data has already typed it and he just upload it. So a lot of advantages are
Now, Ogwar, let's look at, yes, our viewer, we are looking at modern ways of conducting research, and here is totally digital research. Everything is digital. Now, let's look at ability to manipulate this gadget or use the gadget. We recently had the national census, and I want to tell you, these tabs became a problem to some extent. Then also data protection. How sure are we that when we conduct pure digital research, much as you've said, it's faster, that means it's time saving, it's cheaper because you eliminate a lot of people on a bigger team to conduct certain things. These machines will just do it for you. But acquisition, ability, these people were taken through training, by the way. By the end of the day, you will see some fidgeting and some coming out and saying the machine didn't work. Yet the machine didn't have the problem, they just couldn't maneuver through.
So you point out something which is normally, we have to train our team well to handle. But you know, currently most of our people are already using smartphones, smart devices. And the software which we develop for data collection is also similar, with just very few kind of controls put to it. They're very simple. So people who are struggling, maybe they were not used to smartphones, smart devices. I'm not sure you have the statistics. But generally, collecting data with modern tools is very simple. Actually, the day-to-day features you use on your phone is more complex. It's very simple. Then for the data kind of protection and privacy, first of all, I can assure you that all your data is going to end up on some computer as of this generation.
It's going to end up
on some computer.
How? Don't I have Don't I have protective measures, closed leaks?
Yes, sir.
But it's going to end up somewhere.
It's going to end, even if you use your paper, unless you're going to use papers and end up analyzing using a pen and paper, but still reporting, you might have to report it with a kind of make presentation. So as of now, you can't run away from having your data somewhere on some computer. Now, that brings the protection bit of it. Then you have to be, we have to trust our people who keep the data for us to ensure that our data does not have leakages. We do what we call anonymizing data. So we remove names of people from the data. When we're sharing it, we share findings. Not saying Robert did so and so. There are a few circumstances that we do reporting by names. Those ones are when you do like kind of focus group discussions, and the people have to consent that their names have to be put in the report. But most of the quantitative research, you're interviewing like 200 households. How would you write the names in every section of a report? You're interviewing 500 households. So it becomes a bit complex. So first of all, your name is taken out. That alone protects your privacy. Because if I take out your name and present the data, whatever I say,
no one can connect.
No one will connect
effectively,
it with you unless it is really you're that outstanding in the community that whatever we say about it, people will just pinpoint that, okay, it was Robert who said so. But generally, we have a lot of safety of data. Data breach is not, it happens once in a while, but most times your data is safe. Your data is very safe. You do not have to worry about it. Fidgeting with technologies, it just needs training. The penetration of modern devices, phones, smartphones, and so on, has really built. A lot of youth are now into it because most of the people collecting data are really young people.
Yes.
Of course, we have people who are kind of medium age who are still doing that, but most of the time we put them as supervisors. And most of our young people are growing in a generation of technologies. I went to my village and I was surprised to see even old people using smartphones. And like my mom was asking I should buy for her. So I was asking, so what features are going to use? But generally, it has penetrated the market a lot, and I do not see how young people would so much struggle. But we need, of course, trainings. One of the trainings which we need to focus on is interaction between human to human, bridging in between device. If I have a phone and I'm talking to you, and I'm just focused on my phone, we still have that, we need that human connectivity. So those are the kind of things we integrate into trainings to see that we build a team who can interact with people while using the technologies which are available. Otherwise, we kind of miss the point a bit. Yeah.
Well, very interesting here. We are talking about conducting research in a modern way, and this is one of the issues that African leaders who met in Uganda largely believe that if our countries can invest in research and carry out effective research, now that will require in crops, that will require in animals, breeds, all these, because it's research that informs the decisions you take. But you're also asking then, how are you going to conduct research? How are you going to be able to collect whatever you've gathered? If, for example, you're carrying out something with farmers, definitely you need their input into this. You need to have the right data. How many of these people are saying, well, now our breeds are the ticks are resistant to the acaricides? You need these facts, you need this information. How many are going to reply that the new acaricide you brought, well, it is killing these ticks? So research is what informs effective planning and programming and investment as well. But the challenge is, do we know how to carry out this research? Do we know how to have these well-organized documents? Now, most so when you're talking about eliminating what I'm holding, eliminating paper, the world is now going digital. I won't say I need this research and you're going to give me a pamphlet. I just want to click a link, I'm there. Everything was systematically, properly done. And that is why I have my guests in studios who specialize in ensuring your documents, I don't want even to call them documents, because now everything is digital. That as you have done everything, they can break it in a simple language for the public to understand, but also it is all done in a digital way, right from the word go. Now, we'll be going for a very short break, but when I return, we are still going to be discussing how best can we ensure that we do digital research, but also some of the frequently asked questions like accuracy. We've talked about protection of data, because one believes when you use a computer, when you use somewhere, somehow, maybe your information will be there. But also, why would I go for this nature of research and not go the common that we've grown up many doing, even right from school. We'll return shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Form Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Form Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Jinja Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Mong and Tayebo?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Every party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP, you yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. It is the Extra. Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono with Ogwa Martin from Mold Technology, one of the leading consultancy firm when it comes to carrying out or conducting research for you, for an institution, for anything that you feel you need research. But the uniqueness here is we are running away from the analog way of doing things, where people come to you holding papers, asking questions, then later they take those papers, then they put data somewhere, then again the report, all that. Now we are saying things have been digitalized, and you don't have to have anything that is going to, would I call it wastage? Because sometimes once these papers are given there and information extracted, they cease to be. Those days we used to go in the village before so much of the polythene paper came in now, and things were wrapped in papers. Now as you're moving around, the paper where they have wrapped something for you, you find is a research, it's a questionnaire of something. Then you go to buy something, they pack in a paper, and that paper is vital. It was conducted using research. So such information being misused, or that now we are saying digitalizing the entire process. But one would ask, isn't this very expensive? Reason being, you need the gadgets. 2, it is fairly a new thing. 3, it is more conducive. I would like when I go to present, I'm not giving people pamphlets or research reports, but I'm simply saying, well, how many are we? Send a link there, and people are following on their tabs. It's stylish, but also it's the modern way of doing things. If someone asks you for that research report, you don't have to carry a bulk, you just have to send some link or something, and they can get the report at their own convenient time and read through. Now, cost.
Yeah, you talked about cost, but you also touched on something that you raised a bit earlier. You talked about data privacy, but you're saying you buy banana along the road,
that's
sweet potato roasted, and it's wrapped with somebody's questionnaire. So would that really help if you go the old way? Actually, you are more, the privacy is a lot less, because a lot of our people on the street are wrapping things using, just like the way you pointed out, using these research papers, using exam papers. So you are more safer using digital way, because no one is going to wrap a digital, wrap a sweet potato in a digital kind of media. So you're much safer. So the cost bit, the devices need to be acquired. You need the phones. But the good thing is that sometimes you can put your minimum requirement that the person who is going to come to be an enumerator comes with a smartphone. We have done a number of research where this is the case. But also at the same time, we have, like for our case, we have tablets which are standby for people to use. So if the people who are doing the research do not have the phones, smartphones or tablets, we easily give you at a very low cost. You do not need to buy 20 tablets to go and conduct one research. That becomes so expensive. These devices are reusable. So it doesn't mean when you go and do a research in Western Uganda or Northern Uganda, the work is done like you do for papers. Yeah, so the cost is a lot lower if you're not going to start acquiring the devices afresh. And as you see that the cost we are cutting out from employees. By the way, the highest cost involved in data collection is in the field activity. Paying of enumerators. So the more days you spend in the field with your papers, the more cost you're going to meet as compared to when you hired people with tablets. And besides that, you have the next set of people to enter data. So actually the cost is a lot high in the old analog way as compared to the modern way. Now, like for our case, we have systems that will analyze for you your data. If you go to our website, mt.co.ug, we have standard ways. We have enhanced the capabilities of machines. We have very capable computers that can receive your data, analyze it, you get your results there and then. Most of the statistics you already have. You've reduced cost on doing a lot of data analysis. By the way, most of the time people take 6 months, 1 year, 2 years to analyze data. Some even come like 5 years later to start data analysis. Remember, you collected this data, you packed it somewhere, and you do not have the resources to analyze it. So we are saying, no, wait a minute, we have technologies. Why not have your data ready as you go along? But it also can also guide you on the direction your research is taking. So you save a lot of cost. Cost of printing. You have to print, if you have a 10-page questionnaire and interviewing 200 people, you have to print about 2,000 pages. You have to pay for that. And you have to pay for that, pay for the cost of people, pay for entering, re-entering, and so on. So you're actually meeting a lot of cost. The cost that remains, whether you're using digital or analog way, is a cost of training. You have to train your people, no matter what approach you use. That cost has to stay. But you can now cut the cost on the other areas of printings, time you're taking in the field, and so on. Yeah.
Well, very interesting there. Time reduced, expenses reduced, but also one of the things that comes out, yes, this is so good, so fast, and it's the modern way of doing things. Globally, I'm very, very sure that this is where we are going. I don't look at an international conference and you're moving in with 1,000 reports like the one we had of about 1,000 delegates, but I see and I envisage if there's just something where they can click and follow, that would be very, very okay. Now, gadgets expense, you said you can hire. Anyone interested in this, they can hire these equipments if they don't have the capacity to purchase. But how has the public perceived this nature of doing research so far?
It's quite interesting that even our people in the community are so much interested in seeing that somebody is using a digital way, using a tablet to interview. It's a kind of new experience for them. It's a good experience. Whenever I go to the ground, it's like kind of they're excited about it. So when you go with your paper and somebody else is going with a digital way, you might find that the next person will get more people coming to be interviewed than you. So the public has picked it up well. Most of our people in the villages, in the towns and so on, have really got interest in seeing that the world is moving ahead. And somebody can come, does not flip papers, and go ahead. Sometimes they even have to sign on the screen. That's a new experience. So they really love it. It's quite interesting. And for our young people who are doing data collection, they like it. They're in the technology, well, these are technology generations. They really love it. So the uptake is quite good.
Now, Ogwal, one of the challenges I find is the internet or connectivity, because most of these gadgets, most of the work being done at a certain time, even if you have to use some apps in doing this, you need internet. Isn't this town-based way of doing research? If you are going to Kabong, we are going to Mitukula, we are going to Karamoja, there has been some effort there to put these masts and all that. But areas out of reach, out of the national grid or coverage of internet, how do we do this? I'm in the field, you're saying it is fast, I'm waiting for a report here, then the enumerator is telling me, well, I have the information, but it can't reach you because you're not using these ordinary phones that are not smartphones, that for them, internet is not an issue, but you're using complicated, sophisticated gadgets, tabs. I saw this during Ubos and Sambus. The person still tells you, I need internet to do this.
Yeah, so the beauty of the digital research is that you do not need internet connectivity full-time to do your research.
Full-time to do your research?
Full-time, yes.
Yes.
One time there's a team who came, I think was from Germany, and they said, we want to do research, we want to go with routers on the ground, we want to connect. Then I said, wait a minute, there are better ways of approaching this. You do not need data feeding in every minute. You need people to sit, collect data without internet, and upload it when there is internet. And you find that our research we do for 1 week and so, it's very small. It's like less than 5 MB of data, which you can just upload. So most of the apps which we're using do not need internet full time to collect your data. So do not worry about that. You're going to collect your data, find where there is internet connectivity, and upload this data. Every data is safe, and when you upload it, it merges to the server, the backup is done, and you continue your research. So even the villages, I've done research in so many places. I haven't experienced that. Maybe last month I was in my village doing my work, and I had internet. It's possibly rare, but there are those places that exist. But we have those kind of options that these data collection tools work without internet. You can then maybe ride to the nearby place where you can pick internet and upload your data. So while waiting in your office, your report will come. Your data will come.
Well, time seems to be moving, and of course we'll be having a replay of Behind the Headlines that was at night, so I have to create some bigger time for them. But Ogwal, also as we come to the end, help us know what are the additional services, if at all they are, that are offered by Mood Technologies when it comes to the element of modern research.
Yeah, you see the research, the key places where we have most people getting challenges in doing research, and that's where we tackle. So one of it is, you know, when you're going to research, you have to plan for it. You have to identify the problem which you want to address, You have to review what literatures exist. Was it already done? Are you going to just spend time taking people to the field? And you have to develop your questionnaire. So in the developing of the questionnaire is one of the places where we step in. Why would you be asking one question repeated in 10 places in the questionnaire? Remember, you're going to pay for every minute you spend collecting data. So we do work of redesigning the tools, the data collection tools, the questionnaire, digitalizing it, and ensuring that the flow is good, you're meeting your objectives. Then we have the part of data analysis, because the essence of you collecting data is not to have people busy running around in the place and you sit. Maybe somebody could be happy doing that, but that's not the essence of research. It's about you getting results and using it to help overcome a problem that you've identified. So it's very key that you do analysis. So we come in to run analysis. We have already systems that do partial analysis. Most of the frequency analysis and so on, and averages and so on. You do not need to go ahead and get a software to do it. You just go and download. We have this already on our website. So just go ahead and download. Then of course we have support to projects. We support projects which are running for a long time with monitoring and evaluation systems, where you get real-time data and real-time reports. All these, and we are developing business tools to help our business communities. Recently we have been collaborating with different projects on agriculture. One of it is the CGI Center, where we are collaborating to develop tools for business people. You know, I've been moving around. A number of our business communities lose a lot of money because starting up a business, they do a lot of trial and error, which is too much, and a lot of losses, and sometimes people stop midway. So we are developing tools that will help you analyze your business, the plans, first of all from the planning stage, the viability, and you can go into it knowing business has risks, but you can reduce on it by looking at different tools. So we are helping in our community. We want our community to grow. It's our need. So we offer services that help to build the communities. Reducing on the research timeline is very important. We do not have those luxuries of time to do years of research. We need to do our research in a short time, get results, and deliver it to the to our audience. If we are going to improve on a variety, you talked about agriculture. If we have a challenge in a certain variety, we need to get results and see how we get our breeders to get to work. Other than us having papers sit in some drawer, which doesn't help. The population is growing so fast, we need a new way of thinking of how we approach problems. We cannot be thinking like our grandfathers were thinking. They had fewer people to take care of, but now we have more people to take care of, and not slowly, but very fast. So we need to go digital, we need to go modern way, and we are offering services that addresses those kind of problems, but specifically in the field of research.
Now, for a viewer who is very interested in doing research this way, what is your website?
www.mt.co.ug.
www.mc.
MT for Mood Technologies.
www.mt.
Yes, .co.
.ug. I just want to thank you so much for your time, and of course my boss is you, the viewer. Thank you so much for being with us all the way from 6:30 till now. We never take you for granted. We appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. For God and my country, have the best of your day. Good morning.